Hallo, welkom hier so by Farmspace. Ons is hier so by Hydac, hier by hulle workshop afdeling. Nou ja, hulle doen enigiets Hidrolies ensovoorts. Maar ek gaan my 'n bietjie wys hier so hoe werk hulle vervaardigingsprosesse en al daai goeders. Is nogal indrukwekkend. Mike, hoe lyk dit?
Good yourself.
Nee, doodstil rustig. Sê gou vir my, so jy's nou hier so by Hydac by die, kom ons noem dit die workshop afdeling by die manufacturing en al daai tipe van goeders. Verduidelik my gou vinnig, wat doen julle hier so?
So we are a manufacturing plant for hydraulic components and hydraulic systems. We have a system sales team that goes out to our relevant clients and finds out what their needs and demands are. And they come back and we look at putting the design together. And from there we offer them a solution. And in this building here we start bringing all the ideas to life. So we have some suppliers and subcontractors that help us along the way. From there we get the fabrication systems in and start assembling the power packs. So as an idea, if you look to the side here, we'll start with this one.
Yep.
Our team is busy putting a power pack together at the moment. So we've done all the painting and all the pipework on the system. At the moment this is in the final stages of testing.
En dan, maar sê vir my, as jy praat van 'n Powerpack, nê? Wat presies is 'n Powerpack? Wat doen hy?
So a power pack, what we call, is something that takes electrical energy or diesel energy, transforms it into hydraulic energy.
Yep.
That energy is then used to do work. So hydraulics is the muscle behind any operation. We operate at pressures up to 250 or 300 bar. As normal operations, we can go higher, but with that we use that energy to drive hydraulic cylinders or drive motors that then drive other systems. So in this case we're using hydraulic energy from this power pack at the moment.
Yep.
And for testing we're driving the cylinders on the back wall there. So you can see them.
I'm with you. There.
So at the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So at the moment we're using it as a test to check the operation to see how we're turning hydraulic into linear energy. So by moving the cylinders, and then the forces that we can get are excessive. So you can get a very, very small system to deliver very, very high power.
Ja, die beauty van hydraulics, nee.
As a comparison, if you look at the motors and pumps here, that is I think it's a 5.5 kilowatt motor that's on there at the moment, and that pump is probably rated to 15 or 20 kilowatts. So
Sheesh.
as a size comparison, you can get very high power out of a very small pump.
Which makes a lot of sense.
So yeah, we can fit into small places and drive systems from there.
So, your manufacturing protocols, because I must tell you something that is rarig. Julle kan sien hierso, hierdie workshop is netjies, so hy's mooi skoon and it somewhat looks like you manufacture stuff on a certain, let's say, quality.
So we follow the ISO system. We are ISO accredited company, and we hold quality as a very, very high part of our business. And with that, we want to have customer satisfaction. So everything goes through multiple checks to make sure that the system is assembled according to the bill of materials, according to the circuit, and that the performances that we achieve are what the client requires.
Awesome. Nou okay, hier's 'n interessante besigheid. Vertel my gou 'n bietjie wat gaan hier aan.
So this system here is a vacuum dehydrator. So
Ja, it's 'n mond vol.
what it does is, the science behind it is, we take oil containing water, and within water you get dissolved water in your oil.
Ja.
And the dissolved water, it hinders the life expectancy of your hydraulic components. So what this system does is it takes an oil, heats it up to around 60-65 degrees, so it doesn't burn the oil. At the same time, in this chamber, it forms a vacuum. So rule of thumb, water boils at 100 degrees at sea level. What this system does is it takes the pressure down to about 0.5 atmospheres. So your water now boils at around 45 to 50 degrees. So what it also has a whole lot of pellets inside here that increase the surface area. So as the oil runs over the surface area in a vacuum at a high temperature, the water boils off and only the oil remains.
So where will something like this be used?
So we use this in plants where there's a lot of water ingress into their hydraulic system, as well as hydraulic maintenance, where we'd couple up onto a tank, say 800 or 1,000 liters or bigger, and you'd run it for a couple of days to take all the water out of the system. So thus, your oil nowadays is classified as an asset. It's no longer just something.
It's not a consumable anymore.
So what we do now is we condition the oil through taking the water out, as well as it goes through a filtration system to condition the oil back to the right cleanliness class and quality that you need to prolong the life of your system.
Does it make financially sense?
Yes. So look, this is expensive equipment. So what we do is we rent these out to clients. We do sell them, but in most applications, if you rent it for a week, it can bring your oil back down to a cleanliness class that you need, and that will prolong the life of your pumps and your hydraulic valves.
I'm with you. And some of the other machines that you've got here?
So in conjunction with that, we also have one of these units. This is one of our smaller ones at the moment.
Yep.
It does offline filtration. So that's almost basically, well, it's literally a motor pump set that runs oil through the filter back into the plant, and we plug that on as a kidney system. So while your plant is in operation, we can then filter the oil. We also use that for transferring, well, not this one specifically, but smaller units for transferring oil from a drum to a tank. So you're always putting clean oil into a tank. When you buy a fresh drum of oil, it's not clean. It's not clean enough for your oil system. Is typically around a 22, 21, 20 cleanliness class, and that's okay for a gear pump type setup or a very rough system. Where when we start running your piston pumps and a lot of valving and whatnot, we like to go a lot cleaner. We take it down to a 10 micron filtration, and we normally look at a cleanliness class around 16, 15, 14.
So especially when you're running hydraulics.
Yeah, hydraulics needs clean oil. Any form of contamination, it inhibits the life of your components.
En dan kry jy daai wat jou cylinders wear. So is this the type of particles that you were talking about there with the other one?
So this is a Desiccant Breather. What that does is it takes the water out of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So as your tank breathes, water goes in and out. It sucks air in from your atmosphere. Well, sucks air in, and in your air there's a lot of water content, or there's condensation that happens on the tank lid.
Yep.
And that then goes into your oil. But this inhibits that air from passing into your tank. So
as ek die ding op my gewone diesel tank sit, sal dit al klaar help.
I haven't used it in a diesel application, but it could work.
In theory.
I don't see why it won't work, but we always use them on hydraulic systems.
Okay, ek is met.
Basically, if you extend a cylinder, you're sucking air into the tank. And when you retract it, you're then blowing air out. So this constant cycle of air coming in and out forms condensate on your tank lid.
I'm really thinking those things on a diesel tank will actually work on a ek wil gou hierso. So if that was a Powerpack, then what's this? This a duck Powerpack.
This is also a Powerpack. What this does is it uses the motor pump set to charge up your accumulator bank. So what we've got is one main piston accumulator.
Yes.
And then the 3 brown bottles are backup accumulators. So when the system is in neutral and the piston is all at the bottom, all 4 of those vessels are filled with nitrogen. And when you start to charge up the system, the piston then moves towards the top and the nitrogen is pushed into the 3 backup bottles. So that becomes all the stored energy. So in the case that the motor pump set fails or switches off, there's still enough stored energy and volume in the cylinder, in the accumulator, to drive the cylinders.
For emergency type
operation.
So en jy praat van hierdie silinders, nee, dis as ek reg is dit die tipe silinders wat jy van praat wat mens dryf met daai
ding. Black ones there.
Soos daai 2 swart is. Waarvoor gebruik hulle daai ding?
What's that?
So for what are they going to use that
Powerpack?
Powerpack?
This is working on a cold chute to open and close the door at the bottom of the hopper.
Okay.
And it gets a little bit fancy, is this system has got a linear transducer inside the one cylinder. So
okay, I want to say Afrikaans, please. Okay, English that normal people can understand.
So what that does is got a sensor in the cylinder that measures the position of the extension.
Yes.
That then sends a signal back into the control panel of that plant, so it knows exactly where the door is at any given time.
That is baie interessant.
Then, also with that, it runs a normal operation which controls the position, and then a failure mode which then allows the oil to come back rapidly to close the cylinders.
Awesome. And maar ek neem aan uit hierdie dinge daar het julle 'n paar verkoeling units. Some cooling units but basically this is where everything happens. Awesome. Ek wil net nog een vraag vra. Wat's die ding? So what unit is this?
This is also a Powerpack, so this is running a lubrication of mill bearings.
Yeah.
So on your mill you've got your massive bearings that run on the, really big bearings, can't go as big as they are. This sends a lubrication oil through and a high pressure. So what it does, it jacks up the bearings and then the motor starts and at the same time it pours lubrication oil in to get the bearing rotating. So your bearing is sitting on a pocket of oil the whole time. And this maintains that whole setup.
Hy hardloop om die hele tyd daarso. Maar you build anything here, big, small, depending on?
Yeah, we've actually built a water processing plant as well. The plant itself was around 10 tons.
Yeah.
And it was at 12 meters length.
Jeez.
So that's a plant that we've sent up to Namibia recently to do water filtration for.
Hy gaan 'n paar liter deurtrek. So, and then you've got a diesel filtration system here.
So this system is offline diesel filtration. What it does is we couple this up onto your large reservoirs. So if you're looking at say 10,000 litre storage upwards, and it then does offline conditioning of the diesel. At the same time, it's got your main filter and then your coalescer.
Yeah.
So what we've got now is a bag filter that runs in front to protect the system.
Yes.
Then you've got your main filter, and then you've got your coalescer. So what the coalescer does, that's the important filter in the system, is it removes the water out of your diesel. So
And this is done in real time.
yeah, and
So basically when a truck comes to my farm and they hulle laai diesel af, dan hardloop ek hom deur hierdie
you can run
system
it through here into your bulk storage,
en dan is die water weg.
and then run this offline on your bulk storage to keep the diesel in a good condition. And then
like that.
periodically, that's why we've got the bucket, is as the filter gets clogged with water, it then takes the water out by itself, and then you land with a bucket of water at the end.
Ah. Awesome, bewyse. Right. Dankie. Right, so dit is Mike van Hydac. Okay. Hydraulics. Enigiets wat jy soek. Ek moet altyd daai dingetjie op die plaas wat jy wil doen en jy weet nooit hoe wat waar nie. Ja, so, hierso. Hulle is jou ouens, hulle sal vir jou kan uitsort. Whatever jy soek. Ook as jy hydraulic parte, daai tipe van goed het, ek seker as hulle dit nie het nie, gaan hulle dit vir jou kan kry iewerster. So daar's vir julle 'n lekker backup. Is hier van Farmspace af. Tot volgende keer. Groete.